Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes as usual. Wearing clothes, wearing a green shirt that says "Birds Are Lie." Some people believe in the conspiracy theory that birds aren't real. I haven't made a decision yet. I'm not losing sleep over it. So this is the 600th um, When I Have Spare Time podcast. I have nothing planned. There would be no fireworks. The only thing we have is a weird camera angle. But yeah, this is show number 600. It started out as a K-pop podcast years ago, and then I stopped doing that podcast because I was doing it with someone else. Yeah, well, we were doing like a K-pop podcast and a pop culture popcast, and then I think like a movie review podcast. And I vaguely remember why I stopped doing the podcast with that guy. I just remember he kept talking about, okay, well, like K-pop idols are, at least the K-pop I follow. I follow female groups that have members I want to sleep with. I mean, it's like if you're gonna follow this stuff, you might as well follow like the hottest chicks, right? And so it's like, pretty much all the groups kind of have the same music. So you just follow the ones that have like the best looking members. And so he would go into graphic detail about how he wanted to do stuff to him. And I would just go like, "Oh yeah, I think this one's cute." Like I'm not gonna sit and talk about how I want to like twist some K-pop idol into a pretzel. I'm just not having that conversation with anyone. Well, maybe I'll do it right here, right now. But it was just getting awkward. I'm like, I don't want to hear about you trying to bang Mina from Twice. And then I just remember one time, I guess Mina has some bruises, and he's like, "Man, I wish I gave her those bruises." and I think this is what happened. And I think I said something like, "Eunice cute," and he thought I was weird. So I don't know. But I guess weirdness is in the ear of the listener. So whatever, it is what it is. But yeah. So we went from K-pop to talking about how to cook meth and crack. That's where that's where this podcast has gone to. It's gone from talking about K-pop to cooking crack. But anyway, so a couple of days ago was St. Patty's Day. Normally I don't go out on St. Patty's Day, but I'm pretending I do. And what I did was, because I wanted to go out, but when you get older, this is what happens. You don't lose the ability to do stuff, you know, like, you could still go out every night. You can still, I'm like, what are some things that, like, like you could still go out and play pickup basketball. But the reason why you don't go out and play pickup basketball is because, there's always that one person that takes it too seriously, and then like you don't want to have to, you know, take the risk of accidentally getting hurt. Like it's like you think about stupid things like that, and so like just I could have went out to a bar, but then it's like I know how I get when I'm drunk in public, but then I don't know how the amateurs get, because I just don't feel like hanging out at a bar and then there's a bar fight and then it's like I try to pickpocket someone, and then that escalates to something else. You know, so I figure I'll just stay home and drink, and so I did, and I had a good time. But it's like you can't go out anymore just because the world's IQ gets lower every day, basically. And it's like, so like you got to worry about other people instead of yourself. It's like there's pictures of me leaving the bar and then falling asleep next to a tree. You can't do that anymore. You just can't do that anymore because people are stupid. So, and I think that was on St. Patrick's Day. Like every time I've gone out on St. Patrick's Day, I've had a great time, but like people around me have had a bad time. Like I went out on St. Patrick's Day, and like this guy died one time. Yeah, we were at Joxers in Culver City. It's a bar I recommend because there's really a bartender there named Vicky Zale, and that's the only reason why I go to that bar is because of Vicky. But she's also the reason why I stopped going because like I've only asked her out 30 billion times, and she's only said no 30 billion times. One of the few attractive women out there because the average. Come on, we got to be honest. The average woman is fat. The average woman is not looking good. Okay, I'm just talking average. The average woman is not looking good. The average woman is not. The only thing you have to do to be good looking for a woman is just try to look like you don't eat McDonald's every day. It's really not that hard. You know, like at least look like you walk around the block for 20 minutes a day. Like look like you don't have to look like Olympic athlete skinny. You don't have to look like supermodel skinny, but you have to look like I'm trying to live to past 60 skinny. Cuz there's no such thing as an old fat person. So like try to look like you have a healthy lifestyle. Even if you don't have it, look like you have it. So like if you're skinny because you're popping Xannies and you only drink vodka for breakfast, but you're skinny, you get a pass. It's good. But it's I don't know. It's so hard for anyway. She has an exercise routine where like I know she likes to canoe, which is weird. I don't know. I just think it's weird a woman that has a hobby and the hobby's canoeing. I mean, I don't think it's weird that women have hobbies, but I think a woman who has a who has canoeing as a hobby is weird. Anyway, so you're like, but that's exercise. She walks the Culver City steps. That's exercise. So walking, rowing. I'm assuming if you're rowing and walking up the steps, she probably jogs too, and she probably has a gym membership. Basically, she looks like a woman who cares about the way she looks, and because she cares about the way she looks good. So a guy just wants a woman who looks like she cares what she looks like. Okay, and like if you do that, you're better than probably 80% of the female population in America because America is the fattest nation because we got the most junk food, the most fast food, just the most crappy food, and we have this thing called this woke movement that's actually dying. But the quote unquote body positivity movement, which just meant, hey, let's all get fat so we can all spend more money at the hospital. The only thing the body positivity movement does is help the medical industry because all those people, because when you're fat, you usually have diabetes, you usually have to go on medication. There's other health complications. Basically, you're in the hospital or going to the doctor for medication. So the body positivity movement was a movement to help the medical industry, and if you keep track of this stuff, which I do, there how TikTok hypes up people and people who are bad. like, fat influencers. Uh, I believe over the past couple of years, like the top or the most popular fat influencers have all died from complications of being fat, whether diabetes, heart attacks, whatever. Just they've all died from fat complications. And so, the movement's slowly turning back. But anyway, the whole point is Vicky Zale's hot. But anyway, so but the last time I went out for St. Patty's Day was I was at that bar, and ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. I'm talking to a group of girls. I'm hanging out with a group of girls. I'm not talking to them like, yo, bitch. I'm just hanging out with a group of girls. Um, this guy, because there's like a whatever, like a waist high fence, because they like fenced off the parking lots, so we could have like more people in the bar. I mean, the outside area of the bar. And so this guy jumps over like the little waist high fence, and he confronts this woman who's with a boy, and they're exes. And so the guy's mad that his girlfriend moved on, and so he's now trying to fight the new boyfriend. And I'm like, why? Just why? Because it doesn't make sense. Why would you fight over a girl who has no interest in you anymore? And like, you know how women are. Like, when a woman breaks up with you, she broke up with you like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, sometimes a year ago. I've known women who have talked to me in confidence and tell me like, yeah, I don't like my boyfriend anymore. Like, it's over. I'm like, oh, so did you guys break up? She goes, oh, well, no, not yet. You don't like him, but okay. Yeah, like I knew a girl who broke up with her boyfriend 2 years ago. Okay, and it was just a matter of convenience because the guy had a job. She was using this money basically. Um, but that's how women are. So in my mind, I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing? And so he gets thrown out by the bouncer, because you can't just come in here and start a fight. So they kicked him out. He came back later, maybe 2 hours later, with a baseball bat. He came over, hopped the stupid little fence, whatever, and you know, there I had plenty of opportunity to stop him. He walked right by me. It's not like he was physically imposing. Um, but I just didn't care. And so he has this baseball he has a baseball bat. So I'm like, so what, he's gonna beat the girl or the boyfriend? So I don't know. Anyway, he was literally I mean, if I'm pretty sure this is what happened. When he hopped the fence, he walked by a bunch of us, and I'm laughing because I'm like, this is stupid. Like, first of all, you're in a crowded area, you can't use a baseball bat. So I'm just like, you're using the wrong weapon. And then if you're here to beat your girlfriend, don't thing you gotta do is use your hands. I mean, come on. But anyway, the bouncer guy sees him and literally just grabs the bat out of his hand and picks him up, because the bouncer guy was like huge, just like, I went to high school with him. I forgot his name, but he's like, 6'4", like well over 200 pounds. He's like, we're talking like lineman, like offensive lineman size guy. Okay. And literally just like throws him over the fence, and he kept the bat, and he's like, don't come back, blah blah blah, so the guy never came back, but he was hanging around. And so anyway, the whole point is, later that night, the ex-girlfriend, ran him over with her car and killed the guy. Now, that is the definition of amateur night. For me, anyway. To me, that's a definition of amateur night. Because, first of all, he was probably so drunk he thought he could probably stop the car. I picture him trying to fight her, like, he's outside the car and she's in the car, but to her, I'm talking, but to him, her being in the car is like, her wearing like a suit of armor. He's like, "Oh, I got this, I get, if I punch the hood hard enough, it'll get to her, so I picture that happening. But anyway, um, she ran him over. He died from his injuries. Now the thing is, she didn't go to jail because a couple of days later, like we saw it in the paper where it was just like, drunk person stumbled in front of a car. Somehow it was labeled an accident, but there were witnesses saying, yeah, she ran him over. It was like people I knew saw what happened, and they're like, yeah, she ran him over. Um, but yeah, and I think it was around that time I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna go out on St. Patty's Day again, you know. And I don't know, and I know that's just one incident, but I'm sure everyone has a story about St. Patty's Day where it's just like, yeah, it got crazy. And like, to some people, the guy hopping over the fence with the baseball bat is like enough. But to me, that wasn't scary just because I'm like, you're doing it wrong. Like it's a lot scarier if you hop over the fence, no bat, run up to the girl or the guy and just start just throwing bombs. Like that, like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. But seeing a drunk guy hop a fence with a baseball bat, you're like, what? Come on, you can't swing that in a crowded area. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I had a great dream the other day. Great dream, and no, it did not involve having sex with Jason's mom, because I know that's the pinnacle of dreams is having sex with Jason's mom. But no, I had a great dream where I had a meth pipe. I was hanging out. This is weird. I was hanging out with my dad, and like I was in a band, and we're also talking to chicks. It was like this weird, and somehow I was on the computer at the same time. It made no sense, okay? Because it's a dream, obviously, but we're passing around a meth pipe, and and it was called the endless pipe. The pipe always had meth in it, and it got passed around like 20 times, and like every time it came to you, it had the same amount of shit in it, but you would light it, and it had so much in it. You light it, like, the shit would turn um like that dark brown, and you exhale the smoke, and then you pass it, and then when it came back to you, it was fresh meth rocks in there. It was fresh glass, and I'm like, well, this is awesome. I'm like, oh shit, this must be a dream. Damn. And I'm like, well, I might as well stay in this dream, and I stayed in the dream and passed it around and smoked it a bunch of more times. And it was just funny because you know, smoking smoking meth with a band that doesn't exist. My dad, who passed away years ago, and somehow I'm connected to the internet via but it was like a mental interface. So I guess it took place in the future because like I wasn't like sitting at a computer, but it was like visually, like it was like a VR computer and at band practice. It made no sense. And also what didn't make sense is that like I didn't have some strippers in there. Like, cause like it was, cause like I realized I was dreaming, and I'm like, I should have like thrown in some hookers. But the thing is, the meth was so good in the dream though. It's like if if real meth was as good as dream meth, I'd be doing meth right now. Not even kidding. If the meth I could smoke in my dreams was as good as real life meth, I mean, like, you would never see me again. Man, dream meth. Um, I can't describe how good it felt. And I know it's just a dream, but man. Anyway, This is podcast number 600 of the When I Have Spare Time podcast. No big deal. No big deal. But anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.